his golf cart, actually. And then you see the second king and queen following behind father. Now, the importance here is that the king is wearing a crown, which father had worn previously. And prior to coming into the hall, father placed this crown on the king's head himself. And this was not something that the king wanted or asked for, but it was something that father did. And this was something that father was doing and had never done to anyone before. I know there's one person who claims that, oh, no, this kind of crown, I wore that before. Well, that's not true. This was first in the history that someone was given to wear a crown that father himself had worn previously and told to follow father in this way with his queen beside him. And so the king and queen are entering here with grandchildren, father's grandchildren following behind, and walking the final distance to the stage. And all these people witnessed this. And father then giving the word, symbolizing the word, passing that to his son. And then he gives a very, very short prayer here. And it's a short prayer, but it is a incredibly significant prayer. So let's listen.
사시며 축도해 주시는 참부모님.
천지의 부모님, 안식권, 안착, 전수하나이다.
So this is the instant in which a father passed to the king the blessing of the true parent. So he says here, this is it's just a one sentence prayer, and some people were still clapping, and so some people may have missed it because it was so short, but it has cosmic and really cosmic shaking, earth shaking importance, because Father, what he says here is that at this ceremony, and he gives the official name of the ceremony, and at this ceremony, I bequeath the blessing of true parent, the blessing of the true parent. So at this moment, then, Father's passing down that blessing, his blessing to the king. And you can see here that this woman is right there, and she participated in that bequeathing of this blessing to the youngest son. The whole crowd of people witnessed this. So they cannot deny. So the English title of that ceremony is given in the banner above. This is we'll get it later on when it's performed in New York. Here's the English title here, Coronation of the Realm of Liberation for God, the King of Kings. And here's the date, 2009, 1:15 at the Cheonjeonggun Palace. There you see the date there, right there. Let me expand this so that maybe you can see it more clearly. 1:15, 2009 is when this occurred. And this is when the king was crowned. April of 2008 was something else. That was him being appointed as the world president, and that means that he was taking over from Chung Han-kwak, who had occupied that position previous. But here, the king was given a position that no one had previously occupied. So this is much more significant thing that happened here. All right, let's continue. This is just less than a 10-minute video, so let's watch it to the end. So here, Mr. Lee Cho-sung, who is a leader in political South Korean politics, and continuing listening here, and daughters and wives there, and the king there with the crown that had been placed on his head by father, and also the queen with her crown that had been placed on her head by father. The father himself placed those crowns on his head prior to entering into the hall, and then once in the hall, gave him the blessing, bequeathed the blessing of the true parent to him. And here, here, this stage was actually designed by the second king. And these thrones are not the throne of God. God is represented by the light that is coming down from heaven. And then the thrones represent the position of true parents in the spirit world. This is how the second king explains his design. He designed this and presented this design to father, and father approved it. So these white thrones represent the true parents in spirit world, and then the light that is in the background coming, the rays of light, this represents the God. Let's, well, I don't think we need to listen to all the speeches here. Let's try to, let's see if we can move forward. Yes, and then we're still on January 15th. Father speaking. Okay. Okay, and then here we have the second ceremony. This is, as you see here, the date is given, January 31st at Cheonjeonggung. Also, this is at the palace in Cheongpyeong. And you can see that the only difference is that the attendants are wearing a different colored robes here. In the first ceremony, they were wearing pink. Here, they're wearing sort of a light blue here. So the exact same ceremony was done for a second time, just in case anybody was asleep. And here, again, the king and queen are coming in with the crowns that were placed on their head here. And father climbs these stairs. And again, the word is passed down to the king. The same offerings are made, the exact same ceremony. And again, father gives the blessing of the true parent. And then what happens? Then we go to New York. This is still January 31st. And this is now the Manhattan Center. And here the king is speaking.
인종과 종교, 문화와 국경의 구분 없이 모두가 한 마음 한 뜻으로.
But we don't have his words being played there. It's just the Korean commentary. But the same ceremony is being done now at Manhattan Center, with the king again being crowned by God, by Father there with the crown that the true Father once wore, and then placed on the head of his youngest son. And again, with the same stage, the same design, with God being represented by the rays of light in the background, and then the white thrones are representing the position of true parents in the spirit world. Coronation for the authority of the liberation of God, the King of Kings, is the official name of this ceremony. And this is in Manhattan Center, as you can see. All right. So this was the coronation of the king 3 times in January of 2009. January 15th, January 31st, once in Korea, and then again same day, January 31st, in the United States. Yeah. So let's be very clear about that. This is different from April 2008.